Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video we're going to explore taxes. So the first piece of advice that I will give you as an artist who is going out into the industry is find an accountant, and find an accountant who specializes in taxes for artists. As artists, we typically deal with more than just the regular W-2. Now, a W-2 is a form issued to employees on a company's payroll, whereas a 1099, which is what a lot of artists get as independent contractors, you're a non-payrolled employee. Now, a W-2 typically has taxes deducted as to where a 1099 does not. And that simply means that when you are working as an artist or an independent contractor, then you, the artist, need to be saving 20% out of that paycheck because you're going to have to pay it at tax season. So, for example, if you get $2,000 for an independent contract gig that you've worked, that $2,000 will be paid to you without taxes deducted, but you still need to save around 20% to accommodate for your taxes that will come around for that upcoming tax season. Now, I want us to look at an example of an artist tax spreadsheet. This will give tangible examples of things that you can deduct to help you balance out all of the deductions and 1099s that you may have. Now, with this being said, this is for if you have a business. So that means that you've made $600 or more in your art endeavors, right? So into that career. So let's take a look at it. So you can deduct advertising. So anything spent to promote yourself. This is pictures, resumes, copying cost, a photographer, getting a makeup artist, retouching costs, any online databases that you may have, voice demos and their production costs, that type of thing. Postage and shipping is another deduction. So anytime, say, you're shipping off your resume and your headshots to agents and other casting directors. Office expenses, so toner, paper clips, pencils, organizers, etc. Those can be deductions as well. And that's if you count your home as your office. Also, that could be any equipment rental. So say that one of the things that you're doing is a podcast and you rent audio or video equipment, that it can be a deduction as well. Space rental, so that could be renting a rehearsal space, a studio space, a storage space, any of that stuff. Repairs, so if you have equipment that you're writing off on your taxes and you have to repair it, so say that you've got a laptop that you use for your business, and you have to get it repaired, that can be a deduction. Any supplies, so that's sheet music, records, books, CDs, scripts, props. For me, as a designer, that looks like drawing pads, papers, markers, etc. Business meals, so this is an important one. So you can deduct a meal if business is discussed before, during, or after meal, drinks, coffee, etc. In addition to your receipt, though, you have to keep track of this in your calendar. So a record could be where you met, what you talked about, all of that stuff, because personal meals that involve you sort of talking about business don't count. Like, you have to keep good record of it, especially if you get audited. Your telephone can be a deduction, so you would include the business portion of your, say, your cell phone that you use. Same thing, fees. If you have any fees, they can be a deduction. So this would be an example of like a fee that you pay for a showcase, or if you pay an independent contractor $600 a year to give you voice lessons, something like that, that would be considered a fee as well. Also, any classes that you may take, so any training to improve or enhance your present job skills can be deducted. Gifts for businesses can be deducted. So And that's typically limited to about $25 per recipient. So think about that if you're doing an opening night gift, or if you're equity and you are tipping your backstage crew, that can be deducted from your taxes as well. You can also deduct hair and makeup expenses, any costume expenses, any of your trade publications. So if you subscribe to American Theater Magazine or Backstage, any of those. Tickets for research, so tickets for movies or plays. These viewings can also be deductions for you. You can deduct any of your streaming services, because a bit of that is going to actually be research for future projects, characters, etc. Local transportation to these jobs where you may be working in terms of 1099. So traveling though to like a regular place of work that is not in your artistic income does not count, but your local transportation to your 1099 job would, or any membership fees can be deducted. So if you're a member of Equity or SAG or any union, those can be deducted, as well as your internet service and any cable services as well. So as you can see here, it's a chart. I keep a spreadsheet all year long of my different deductions, and then you factor them in here, and your accountant does the actual Lord's work to figure out what that means for the federal government. Now, another thing that you can deduct, as I was mentioning earlier, is your home office. So if you have an home office or a small space that you use in your home, even if it's a corner of a room, if you calculate that square footage, that can be deducted as well. Along with that, you can also deduct your automobile if you're using it to go to auditions, to go to your 1099 jobs. For example, as a design tech and management artist, I use it to go shopping for shows, that type of thing. So my car is also part of my business, so I have to claim it as such on my taxes. Now, I want you to take that information and think about your finances. I'm not going to make you expose any of your finances for this class, so this is strictly a personal assignment. There is nothing due for the course for this, but I want you to track your spending this week. I want you to think about your monthly expenses and estimate those, and then figure out what your rates could be. Figure out what that percentage of artistry could be for you, and what those goals look like, and what you want it to look like. If you want to have a theater hobby, I love that. If you want to have a theater business which eventually becomes 100% of your income is all out of art that you're creating, let's go for it. So figure out what this looks like, because we're going to end up talking about what these goals are in our individual meetings. Now, what's next for us? I want you to take in all that we've talked about with finances and taxes, and I want to know what questions you still have. What do you still need to dive deeper into? What do you need to understand about money and taxes for artists? And then what's next that we're getting into is that marketing package, that branding package. So we are diving into the ways in which we market ourselves, and we're going to be finessing that over the next few weeks. So thank you so much for tuning in to this quick lecture series, and I hope that this has given you a bit more information about money and taxes as artists, and I'm eager to continue this conversation so that we can all be better artists for show business. Not show art, right? Show business. So let's all be the best business people that we can be. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.